to my channel. I'm so excited to be here. As per usual, it's my channel, so of course I'm excited. Today I'm going to be answering a couple of questions you guys have sent to me or asked me before now. That's what I'm going to be doing in today's video. The major question, like if I had a kobo for every time I would get this question, I should be rich now. Like I should be able to buy the Burj Khalifa. Okay, well maybe not the Burj Khalifa, but you guys get. I should be able to go there on holiday. So what's the question? The question is kissing a sin? A lot of young couples who are in dating want to know, is it a sin for us to kiss for the wedding night? Like we all know, okay, sex for marriage is a sin. But what about kissing? Is kissing a sin? Is kissing a sin? And I'm gonna give you a short answer and of course a long answer because it's a YouTube video. If it was only the short answer that was available, there will be no need for a video. So number one, the answer is no. However, because something is not a sin doesn't mean that it's a wise thing to do. Like if I go outside now and I start rolling my body on the floor, nobody's going to say, "Hi, you have committed sin." It's not a sin, but that doesn't make it wise. There are so many things that you can decide to do that are not sins that you can decide every day. I'm going to go to work, and every time a customer is talking to me, even though I work in the bank, I'm going to be eating, or I'm going to chew gum and paste it over my forehead. Like, it's not a sin, but it doesn't make sense. And so if you're a believer and you want to really live a life that makes sense, you must learn not just to define the decisions you make or the actions you take by, is it a sin? Like, for example, when people say, is listening to secular music a sin? And I'm like, well, it's not a sin, but it doesn't help you grow in any way. It doesn't help you grow spiritually because the lyrics you are listening to will eventually be what you would do. Do you understand? I say you're watching a video and say, I will take off my clothes and get ready for you. You will eventually start behaving like that because you've heard it constantly. My pastor always says that regardless of what you want to do, you will eventually do what you constantly see and hear. So it's not a sin. The Bible doesn't say kissing is a sin. But the Bible does tell you to flee every appearance of evil, and it tells you to flee sexual immorality. So you have to just basically be wise. First of all, you need to ask yourself, if we're in a dating relationship and we are kissing, what does it profit us? The Bible says that all things might be helpful, all things might be lawful, but not all things are helpful. So how does us kissing in a dating relationship profit the relationship? Some people say, oh well, it helps us grow in intimacy. That's not the kind of intimacy you need in a dating relationship. The kind of intimacy in a dating relationship is to ask yourself questions, is to talk about your plans for your life, your plans for your future, and to really just get to know each other in a way that is not sexual. Because in marriage, you're going to have more than enough time for that. So it's not a sin, but it's not wise. What can you do in place of kissing? Talk, pray together, be involved in each other's lives, and actually get to figure out whether or not you want to actually spend the rest of your life with this person. Another reason why I'm not really a fan of kissing, especially in a young relationship, is because sometimes you start dating somebody and you realize that you're not going to marry this person. There's a reason why as soon as you guys said, I like you like me, you guys did not just marry totally. It's so that you can get to know each other and figure out if this is the person for you. And so if you've already kissed this person, 3 months dating, 6 months dating, you kiss this person, you now realize, this person is not the person for me, we're not really compatible. You now start dating somebody else again. You now start comparing, but that guy is a better kisser, or this lady is a better kisser. You miss the entire point. Because if you didn't kiss this person, you will never have had something to compare your current relationship to. Another thing is it exposes you to a lot of sexual temptation. Like I tell people, if you're a good person, if you're a good girl or a good boy, if you love the Lord, if you don't walk in the counsel of the ungodly, if you're not just found in places like clubs or going out for parties at night, and you're not in a relationship, you are very unlikely to face much sexual temptation. Very unlikely. But when you're in a relationship, your chances of sexual temptation doubles. And when you start doing things that are physically indulging, is that even the right phrase? But when you start with things like, we're kissing, you are never going to stop at kissing. Like, there is no dating relationship where you do one thing today and then you say, this is what we're going to be doing forever. Once you do one thing, once you cross a particular bridge, what you simply want to do is to cross the next bridge. Because the truth is, until you guys actually have sex, you are still going to be facing temptation. Oh, like there's nothing you would do apart from the rule and our family saying, do you know what, we're okay, we're satisfied. Now that you have kissed, you can now wait. No, things like that always keep you wanting more. Do you understand? And sexual what's it called, attraction is a normal thing. I think it's God that puts your attraction for that person you love in you, and vice versa. However, all these things have to do with timing. They have to do with timing. So I'm not saying, oh, if you feel like this is somebody, you have committed the biggest sin in the world and will just throw you away. No. But you must ask yourself, what do we hope to achieve as a couple? And if you don't want to spend the rest of your dating relationship just trying to fight temptation, I'll advise that you wait. Another thing I'll mention is some people just start dating 3 months, maybe they start dating 3 months, 6 months. Yesterday, they're already kissing. And they are not ready to get married though. They want to get married 3 years from now, 2 years from now, 4 years from now, and they're already kissing now. How are you going to wait until then? If you've already gone so far, it becomes very, very difficult to actually wait until the wedding night. If 2 couples come to me and one couple says, we're getting married 3 months from now, but we've kissed, I might say, now, how for you people? But anyway, you'll be alright. But if another couple comes and I say, when are you getting married? They say they don't know, but they've kissed. I'll be more worried for them because their hour of visitation is much farther. So my advice to dating couples would be, I know it's not easy, but the Holy Spirit is empowering you to do this. You can keep yourself until the wedding night. And so try to do as little as possible. I know your boyfriend will say his love language is touch. The girlfriend will say her love language is touch. It's not always true, but when people are dating, they like to use that phrase. There is enough time to explore your love language of touch when you finally get married. But for now, there are so many other things you can do. Don't put yourself into unnecessary temptation. If you're getting married 2 years from now, you're already kissing today, how are you going to keep yourself for the next 2 years? And these are things that we need to be sincere with ourselves about. The idea is not just to say, oh, well, I have the Holy Spirit, I can do whatever I want. No, the Holy Spirit helps you make wise decisions. And choosing to kiss in a dating relationship, especially a relationship that is very young, it might not be a sin, but I don't think it's a very, very wise decision. Why? Because it exposes you to temptation, and then it doesn't really achieve anything. The kind of intimacy you need in a dating relationship is the kind that is intellectual, that is spiritual, but not the kind that is physical. You guys also asked me a number of other questions. I think I'll just answer them in today's video. You can see this is a very, very short video. Unlike my other videos where I have plenty gists. My husband Travis come back today, so I'm trying to make sure that I keep this short. This lady says she has a question. She's 24. She's in her final year and she's in a relationship. She likes somebody. In other words, she's dating him, but she says he doesn't know how to give shishi, like anything. He doesn't give. I know dating him doesn't make him my father overnight, but how do people love without giving? And I have too much pride to ask him. How do I ask my boyfriend for money and still keep my pride? Well, I think you need to first of all be sure that the things you mentioned you actually know. In other words, dating him doesn't make him my father overnight. That's a good thing to mention. Another thing to understand is you really need to understand where this guy is coming from. Is it possible that he's actually broke? And if he's actually broke, there is no law that says you can't be a blessing to someone you're dating because you are a lady. I'm not talking about girls that will just carry out their life savings and give to one guy that is not serious in life. But if you're dating somebody that is responsible, there's nothing wrong with you putting your money where your love is, even if you're a lady. And so a good way to teach him how to give might be to actually give to him, or to find out, is he actually facing issues in his finances? Is it possible? Because some guys, they may be going through a lot of stuff and you won't know. Like maybe he's even barely having enough to eat, but he's just trying to dress up nice, look nice, shape nice for you. So you have to figure out, are you in a fix financially and how can I help? Do you understand? That's something you must understand. Another thing is you can show him how to give by giving. He just may never have been taught. It might be his first relationship, he doesn't know. So don't just look out for the other qualities. What are the other things that he's very good at? Some people may not be generous with money, but they're generous with their time. is the kind of person that can say, you need something done, I'm going to go out of my way to get it done. Do you understand? If it's a young relationship, my advice is not to say, now what for, you know, they buy anything. But you can start by buying gifts little by little, by really finding out his true financial status, so that you don't be a burden when this guy is actually going through a lot. Do you understand? And then you can show him how to give by giving. If the relationship goes on for a while and he's still, maybe you guys always go out, you're always the one paying, then you cannot bring it up in a conversation. But it's not something that you just bring up in a very, very new relationship. So I hope that answers your question. But like my marriage counselor will say, of which she's even coming to my church, Pastor David Baba is coming to Celebration Church this month in Lagos and Abuja. So if you're watching this, be sure to attend. She would say that somebody you're not married to is not financially obligated to you at all. Do you understand? So if you want to teach him to give, you show him how to give by giving. There's no law that says a lady can't buy stuff for a guy. This lady says she's 25 years old. She's been in 2 dating relationships. Anyway, the question is that she met a guy in June. He loves the Lord. This kind of man she wants to be with, but they've barely spent any time physically because it's a long distance relationship. They've only been at camp meetings 3 times. You guys, the relationship is so spiritual. Camp meeting relationship, I love it. And then he asked her out in October. In November, she had to leave to study in India. She's just worried that even though they communicate a lot through social media, she's afraid of the long distance thing. And she said it's been over a month and she hasn't asked him out. She hasn't replied him. It's been over a month. She said, should I continue talking to him for a while before saying yes, or just forget about my fears and agree to date him? And I told her, I said, fear is never a good reason to stop you from doing anything. If fear is the only reason, then perhaps you need to take a leap of faith. And if you guys follow me, you know that I talk a lot about dating intelligently. But the truth is, relationships in the long run, after you have done all the questions you need to ask, prayed all the prayers you need to pray, observe what things you need to observe, relationships are still a leap of faith. And so if fear is the only reason for you that's stopping you from doing something, my dear is to just go for it. And then to really be intentional about seeing the relationship work. Some people might live in the same state. If you live in Lagos, for example, it's possible that you may be seeing the person you're dating only once a month because of traffic. When you guys are talking over the phone, you are chatting. So it's possible. But another thing I need to ask you is, what's your long-term plan? Do you plan to live in India forever? Do you plan to live in India for 10 months? Where does he plan to settle down? So those are things that you need to talk about and consider. But if it's fear is never a good reason to stop you from doing anything. If you prayed about it, you have a peace about it, and it's just fear, my idea would be to just step out of the boat and walk on water. Thank you guys so much for joining my channel today. Don't stop it too. Don't stop it. Oh my god. Someone is helping me with my camera. I left my tripod somewhere. That's the reason why I'm rushing. And then if the camera is a bit shaky, please forgive us. We don't know. Well, we kind of knew what we were doing, but still forgive us. Thank you for joining my channel. Remember to stay in God's love, enjoy life, and remain in the faith. I love you guys so much. Everybody's been asking me to do a video why reasons why you should get married, because they watched my video don't marry because. And there was 7 wrong reasons to get married. If you haven't watched it, I'm gonna just put a link after this video so that you can watch it. If you've watched it, make sure you watch another video before leaving this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell button beside the subscribe button so you know when I have more videos coming up.